Hello and welcome to another edition of Paranormal Activity and Mysterious Stories. Let me give you a quick preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first is a video from Mexico of a fleet of orbs just hovering over the city. I know it says a fleet over Mexico monitoring coronavirus, but I think that's clickbait. Let's see. I have a tweet of a recording. It's not the best recording, but it's Eric Davis who talks about crashed UFOs and the fact that our government is aware of UFOs flying around, and that there are occupants in those UFOs. Let's see. I have an article about the celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg, April 14th, 1561. This is a broadsheet, it's called, that describes the incident, where basically a bunch of UFOs had a battle in the sky. Here's an article that talks about Iran encountering Mach 10 UFOs snooping around its nuclear facilities. Let's see. A article about petroglyphs that were recently discovered in India. And I think that the thing about these petroglyphs in India is they show animals that were only in Africa. So, has the archaeologists baffled? Let's see. I have another article on petroglyphs in Peru and in Australia. Yeah, these are images of the Wadijna. I think that's who you're saying that, Wadijna. And, you can see that obviously these aren't humans. These are, the classic or gray looking. And let's see, I also found this image on Reddit, and this is an image of the night sky taken by a telescope, which shows all of the stars in the night sky if our eyes could see all of the stars. Yeah, our eyes are very limited. We can only see a small sliver of the complete light spectrum, so we can't see everything in the night sky. But if we could, this is what we would see. And it just goes to show, all of these little dots are galaxies and stars. So we're obviously surrounded by possibilities, by limitless possibilities of life being out there. So I thought I'd show that, and just to give you an idea of our place in all of this. I just want to show some size comparison. Like these are the largest suns that we have so far found, and just a comparison of what's out there. So let me get to the first video here. Let me go large screen. Yeah, now this isn't the best quality video, but I'm sure whoever took this video isn't a professional cameraman. He's not a professional photographer. He or she saw this thing going on and just whipped out their phone, and this is the quality we get. But this isn't the first time something like this has been taped in Mexico. Yeah, these are like some kind of orbs or something. It's hard to say, exactly or what's going on. I wish there were other people that had better video. And next, we're going to listen to this talk given by Eric Davis. He's a PhD as a physicist at the Institute for Advanced Studies, Austin. Yeah, this is the guy that our government goes to talk about, advanced propulsions and things like that. And if someone were building UFOs on the planet, this is the guy who would know about them. Actually, I do think we are building UFOs, but let's just hear what he has to say.
Have had their share of crashes, and they have recovered the vehicles from their crashes. So That's why Shakti Lee and I agree that even though these things behave like a conscious, spiritual, psychic entity, they do have a advanced technology. They have hardware, and there's a craft, and there's occupants or UFOnauts that he calls them, that Shakti Lee calls them UFOnauts. So there's UFOnauts running these craft. The point is that that these things are operating. They go way outside the envelope of our engineering and physics technologies, and I can guarantee you that no laws of physics are broken whatsoever. It's just that it's either the existing laws that we have, but we haven't extrapolated it further enough, or expanded it enough into realms or areas of phase space where we could discover new solutions to these existing physical laws, which would give us advanced propulsion and power that would produce this type of technology once you have an engineering and a manufacturing technology to create these things. So that's where we're at. And these things don't look like anything that we can manufacture on Earth, so we don't have the manufacturing or industrial technology for it.
Yeah, this guy is saying that we don't have the manufacturing or industrial technology to build the Tic Tac, at least. Now, I definitely believe that our government does have anti-gravity craft. Like, I'm pretty sure, the TR-3B, the Aurora, does exist. People have videotaped it. We do have that. So we are able to build some type of craft. So anyways, let's go to this next article here. Yeah, celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg, April 14th, 1561. Again, this to me shows that whatever these crafts are, they have played a role in our existence for a very long time. Let me read what's going on here. As the sun rose on April 14, 1561, over the German city of Nuremberg, the residents saw what they described as some kind of aerial battle take place in its glare, complete with erratic dance of orbs, crosses, cylinders, and the appearance of a large and mysterious black arrow-shaped object, all followed by a crash landing somewhere beyond the city limits. Later that month, local artist Hans Glacier produced a broadsheet, pictured above, offering a woodcut engraving of the scene and a detailed description of what was witnessed. Yeah, now basically, this guy cut this because they witnessed this. This was seen by hundreds of people. And, what's a more likely scenario? That these UFOs came from some distant galaxy, that they came from a different dimension, or that they came from the future to have a battle in our skies? Out of all the different places in the universe to have a battle, they decided to come to Nuremberg, Germany, to have a battle over that city. That that to me doesn't make sense, that they're coming from all of these different places. What would make more sense is like what Linda Moulton Howe said. According to her research, there are 3 competing species trying to control the planet. And I think, this is an example of whatever battle that took place back in 1561 to figure out who's going to control us. Which species will control the Homo sapiens. So anyways, that's just an example of how UFOs have been playing a role in our lives for a very long time. And here, Iran has encountered Mach 10 UFOs snooping around its nuclear facilities. If these alien crafts are from another planet, another dimension, or from the future, why would they be so concerned about our nuclear facilities? I think it's because they're worried that we're going to blow up their planet too. Humans have definitely shown that we don't seem to, or some of our leaders don't seem to possess the maturity to make the right decisions all the time. They seem to make political decisions that harm, or that have much more major damage, instead of making the right decisions. But let's see what this article has to say. In the decades after the war, Tehran repaired and upgraded the surviving F-14, scouring the globe for parts in defiance of a U.S. government embargo. The Americans retired their F-14s in 2006, but around 40 of Iran's Tomcats remain active. Their main role is defending Iran's nuclear sites. It's a mission that has brought the interceptors in close contact with some very mysterious aircraft, according to a bizarre and fascinating 2013 story in Combat Aircraft magazine by reporter Babak Tagvahi. The Iranians believe the objects were spy drones belonging to the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency sent to sniff out Tehran's suspected atomic weapons programs, but they attribute to these alleged unmanned aerial vehicles flight characteristics and capabilities far beyond what any known drone can achieve. Yeah, that was my first thought, that that these are American drones over there spying, on Iran's nuclear facilities. But if the Iranians are saying that these drones are doing things that are beyond what's achievable, then, maybe it is our neighbors snooping on them. And in 2012, one of the alleged flying robots reportedly also shot down an F-14 attempting to intercept it, or at least some Iranians seem genuinely to believe so. Over the decades, Tehran has built 3 major nuclear facilities that could, in theory, be used to assemble atomic weapons: reactors at Bushehr and Arak, and an enrichment plant in Natanz. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past our country to be snooping on the Iranians, and I'm sure the Americans would be happy to have them think that they're alien crafts as opposed to American drones snooping around. But anyways, let's get to this other article here. A petroglyph left by an unknown ancient civilization discovered in India. This discovery is definitely amongst the strangest out there. Dozens of petroglyphs appearing to be as old as tens of thousands of years old have now been discovered in India as a result of archaeologists specifically looking for these a while now. Many believe that these rare petroglyphs date back as far as 10,000 BC, but what's even stranger is the drawings in themselves. These are drawings of animals that are seen only in Africa as opposed to India, which is where they were originally discovered to begin with. This sparked a lot of controversy with the experts, as they believe this is a sign of them being a nomad tribe that traveled from Africa to India in ancient times, and they left these petroglyphs behind as a memo of the fact that they used to be here in the first place. Yeah, again, our scientists have a worldview or have a belief system, and any time they encounter any evidence or facts that fall outside of their belief system, they automatically just say, oh, it's a myth, oh, it's not true, or they come up with some other excuse to discount the facts that don't fit into their belief system. And I think this is an example. But here's another article about petroglyphs. These were found in Peru and in Australia. And, you can see, look at these in Australia. I mean, look how clear these are. These are called Wadijna rock paintings found in Australia, similar to ancient petroglyphs in Peru. So, yeah, our ancient past, the people in our ancient past were seeing the same things. I've come to learn that everything I was taught growing up about our history, about Earth's history, about human evolution, it's all wrong. Yeah, like I don't necessarily believe, some of these academics specifically meant to lie to us. I just think they didn't have any answers, and because they were academics, they felt like they just had to provide some answer, no matter how ridiculous it is. But yeah, all of this notion that they weren't, or that the people in the past were all primitive, it's completely wrong. In the same way that there are currently primitive tribes, hunter-gatherers that still live, deep in the rainforest, right alongside us. We consider ourselves an advanced civilization. We're sending probes to Mars. We're able to communicate wirelessly, right here on this planet. And at the same time, there are people who have no idea we exist, and they're basically living as if time never changed. They're basically still cavemen, right alongside us. So I believe that we're in the same situation as some of those uncontacted tribes that don't know we exist. I believe that, most people don't know that there are also an advanced civilization that knows we exist, but we don't know about them. At least most of people don't know about them. I've finally come to the realization that, that there's an advanced species, and I can admit it, acknowledge it, and tell it to the world that we're not alone. Here, look at this photo I found on Reddit. This is an image taken by a telescope that shows all of the stars in the night sky that we cannot see with our eyes because our eyes aren't designed to see, the full light spectrum. We can only see a teeny tiny sliver of the total light spectrum. But if we could see, this is what we would see. And remember, this is, this telescope pointed at just one section of the night sky. If we were to, move the telescope over a few inches or to turn it a few more degrees, we would most likely get, another image just like this. Yeah. So to the people who still think that we are alone in this universe, or that, even if there were life out there, that it's too far away, that they wouldn't be able to get to us. Like, who's to say if, in one of these planets out there, that life didn't start 1 million years ago, 10 million years ago, and they've advanced, so much further than we could. The possibilities are enormous. I don't think we have a word to describe the number of stars and galaxies that are out there. I found this image here that this is just one, right? All of these little lights are galaxies and stars. And here is just one galaxy, and showing, right, in one of these arms is our solar system. And I think according to this, our planet hunting neighborhood, most of the planets found to date lie within 300 light years from our sun. Oh, so right. So recently we have discovered a bunch of planets, right? But look, all the planets that we have recently discovered all fit within this teeny tiny region of this one galaxy. So imagine the possibilities, and I even found this picture to show the size of some of the largest suns that are out there. Now, until today, I had no idea this YU Scuti existed. I only was aware of this VY Canis Majoris. I thought that this was the largest sun in the universe. I thought this was the big dog. But I just learned today that there is a bigger sun than Canis Majoris, and it's called this Scuti. And I actually think, I did find something else, but I don't think it's been completely confirmed, but I think there's actually something bigger than this. Now, to show you how big this Canis Majoris is, check this out, okay? This is Canis Majoris, right? This Canis Majoris. And this little dot here, this is our sun. That little dot there. And, this dotted line, that's our orbit. And look at that. Look at the size of this sun compared to our solar system and our sun. And remember, Canis Majoris isn't even the biggest. Scuti is even bigger than this. So, yeah, there is so much out there. The possibilities of life are enormous. I found this video here on Reddit showing this strange creature, and this shows, just here on this planet, right? In the deepest parts of our ocean, we have life, right? And all of the different levels in our ocean, it's filled with, whatever life is able to survive at those particular depths. And then, we come to the surface. Look at all the variety of life on the surface of the earth, right? We have, the reptiles, we have amphibians, we have, birds, we have things that can fly. And then even in low Earth orbit, I believe that there are these creatures, whatever this thing here is. I think this is some kind of organic bovine, like organic space cows that live in low Earth orbit. And another thing is, these whatever this is, it can't be seen with the naked eye. It can only be seen through infrared. Now, the story of this is the STS-75, Space Shuttle 75. Now, the story is they were sending out this probe, right? This giant probe here to try and collect energy, right? You see this thing here? It's some kind of probe to collect energy. Now, when they released it, now they know exactly how long this is. It's 12 miles long, right? But what happened is when they fully released it, it generated so much power that it burnt out where it connected to the space shuttle, and it ended up drifting out into space. Right here, you can see this space shuttle starts drifting out into space, and when it finally got out there and started to float away, this is what was seen. It was surrounded by all of these passing objects. Now, NASA tries to say that that these are ice particles, but again, because they know the size of this thing, they know it's 12 miles long, they can determine, because this is like having a giant ruler in space, they can determine the size of these other objects. Now, let me jump to the beginning. Yeah, look at all these things. Yeah, so now they think that, these things became curious because they've never seen that this thing's out here generating electricity or generating power, and so they started getting surrounded by these things. Now, again, remember, these objects cannot be seen with the naked eye. This is all being seen with an infrared camera. But this is a low Earth orbit, and look at these things. Again, NASA is trying to say that these are ice particles, but you can see movement, and let's see. Let me see if I can find. Here, this one. Yeah, you can see how. Yeah, there's actually like some people who have analyzed this footage. There's actually like light being emitted by these things, and the light being emitted is the way it's coming out. It follows a pattern, like the Fibonacci sequence. It follows some kind of certain pattern, but these things are all moving at different speeds, and they disappear and appear. Some of them are moving at different speeds. But whatever this is not ice particle. This is some object which is, again, 2 to 5 miles, these objects are anywhere from 2 to 5 miles wide. and the reason why they know that is because, they have this 12-mile long generator as a reference. But these are being seen in the infrared light. Again, this is, NASA STS-75, the tether incident. And of course, NASA is going to try and say that, these are ice particles. That is their explanation. But, people have analyzed this footage, and someone made some kind of analysis where you can see how these things are operating at different speeds and different velocities by the length of the lines, that they leave. But yeah, if people want to find out more about this, just look up STS-75, the tether incident, and enough people have done analysis on this. This isn't fake. It's never been debunked. There are these strange creatures that live in low Earth orbit and in the infrared spectrum also. So anyways, this is a super long video. I'm gonna end it right here. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and, tell people we're not alone on this planet, right? The UFOs we've seen are being piloted by advanced species that share the planet with us. Anyways, take care.